Hello and a very warm welcome. Thanks for tuning in to your favorite news destination. You're watching In Your Interest with me, Kabina Kui. And on the show tonight, our spotlight is on a case that's left the national capital stunned and the national capital angry. A tragic accident involving a speeding high-end luxury BMW car. It's an SUV, a high-profile victim, and disturbing allegations of abuse and power. Let's reconstruct the horror that unfolded on the 15th of September near Delhi cantonment. Navjot Singh, a senior official working in the finance ministry, and his wife Sandeep Kaur were on their motorcycle, heading back home after prayers at the Bangla Sahib Gurdwara. They also had stopped over for a nice lunch at the Karnataka Bhavan. A nice Sunday for the couple. And suddenly, a speeding BMW driven by the accused, Gaganpreet Kaur, loses control. It slams into a divider, overturns, and collides with the couple's bike. The impact sends Navjot's motorcycle crashing into a nearby bus, throwing both the riders onto the road. Navjot suffers severe head injuries, and his wife Sandeep Kaur is also hurt, but importantly, both are conscious. The real controversy ignites right after the crash. Instead of rushing the critically injured couple to nearby hospitals, Gaganpreet, this lady behind the wheel in that BMW, takes them nearly 20 kilometers to a private hospital somewhere in GTB Nagar. It's called New Life Hospital. The question that naturally arises is, why? Well, this hospital is co-owned by her father. Navjot Singh is declared dead on arrival at the New Life Hospital, which, mind you, again is 20 kilometers away from the accident site. Remember, he was injured but alive after the crash.
ऐसे समथिंग 2 बजे का टाइम हुआ और जो है एक्सीडेंट हुआ था। मैं वहाँ से निकल रहा था तो मैंने देखा कि ना मैं एक्सीडेंट हुआ था, काफ़ी तगड़ा गाड़ी पलट गई थी। तो मैं जो उनको सीधे गाड़ी में अपने डाल के, लोडिंग वाली को काफ़ी स्पेस होता है पीछे, तो उसी में रख के मैं तुरंत ही हैंड टू हैंड निकल गया था वहाँ से।
धौला कुआं से, जबकि धौला कुआं के इर्द गिर्द आप देखेंगे प्राइमस हॉस्पिटल है, एम्स है, ट्रॉमा सेंटर है, आप देखेंगे राम मनोहर लोहिया है, गंगाराम है, सब 5 किलोमीटर के रेडियस में है। 5 किलोमीटर की रेडियस को छोड़ करके 25 किलोमीटर दूर मुखर्जी नगर के 50 गज के क्लिनिक में, जो कि एक डिप्टी सेक्रेटरी लेवल का व्यक्ति है, जो 3 कंट्री का बायलैटरल हेड है, चाइना, कोरिया और जापान 3 कंट्री का बायलैटरल हेड है, इस व्यक्ति को ले जा करके और पुलिस का कोई सहयोग नहीं मिल पाया, ना ही डॉक्टर का कोई हेल्प मिल पाया। दोनों पति पत्नी को ऐसे फेंक दिया गया था वहां पे, एक इंजेक्शन नहीं, एक दर्द का भी इंजेक्शन नहीं दिया गया और सीधे बताया गया कि उनकी वाइफ बहुत सीरियस है और उनको ले जाओ, और नवजोत सिंह की डेथ हो गई है।
हमारे भाई साहब का जिक्र है, he was an ex-serviceman Air Force। वो इतना मैं ऊपर बैठ के मिल गया, कहते मैं मिलूँ तो अपना ध्यान रख, तेरी सेहत ठीक नहीं है तो बेटा अपना ध्यान रख के ना, कुछ दिन उसने सानू तेनों संभालना पड़ा। उसने अपने पहले रिश्तेदारों को वहाँ पर फ़ोन करके बुला लिया था, वहाँ पर सबको इकट्ठे हो जाओ तुम, ऐसे ऐसे बात हुई है मेरी। गाड़ी उसकी पूरी उलट गई है उसमें।
Well, you've heard all the major and important stakeholders here. And the crucial question that needs to be answered is why a decision was taken to take the victim to a far-flung hospital. In fact, there are many private and public hospitals within a 10-kilometer radius of the accident site. To be very precise, pillar number 66 and 67 on the ring road near the Dholakua metro station. Namely, you've got the AIMS Trauma Center, Gangaram Hospital, all those on your screens, Safdarjung Hospital, or even RML, all credible, top-notch public governments, public hospitals. And eyewitness accounts and family statements, they too are painting a picture of killer apathy. Navjot was alive right after the accident, gasping for help. Sandeep Kaur, despite her injuries, we're learning she's gotten some 14 stitches and an injury to her head, repeatedly begged to be taken to a closer facility, pleas which were allegedly denied and fell on deaf ears. At the family-owned hospital, the New Life Hospital, she was reportedly left on a stretcher without immediate medical assistance. You just heard a reaction as well. Not even a pain injection for the lady. And the death is labeled as a simple road accident. But the family cries foul. Was the medical legal process manipulated to downplay negligence. This 30-45-minute detour, they say, sealed Navjot's fate, a bid to contain the crisis, allegedly, through privilege.
In the BMW case, the accused Gaganpreet has been formally arrested by the Delhi police, and she has been brought from the New Life Hospital to the Delhi Can police station in the national capital. Now, there has been charges of tampering with evidences and destruction of evidences against her, and there has been attempts from her side to hide the evidences as well. Now, the Delhi police is also investigating into a larger conspiracy. Now, sir, there are several shocking details which has been revealed by Sandeep Kaur in her statement and in the FIR. Now, Sandeep Kaur stated that multiple of times she reached out to Gaganpreet and her husband that both Sandeep Kaur as well as Navjot Singh should be taken to a nearby hospital, because at that particular time Navjot Singh was still alive. But the couple did not pay attention and took them to a hospital which was at Mukherjee Nagar, which was around 19 kilometers away from the location where the accident happened, whereas AIIMS and Safdarjung Hospital was very nearby. Now, the police is investigating this angle as to why did Gaganpreet take both of them to the New Life Hospital, and also to the angle that what relation does Gaganpreet has with the New Life Hospital, whether she has any relation to that hospital or not, or whether there has been attempts to hide the evidences or not. So these are some of the conspiracy angle which the Delhi police is currently investigating.
And this is why we're trying to understand whether one can purely call this negligence. It smacks of a deliberate attempt to control the narrative. At least that's what the optics tell us. By choosing a family-run hospital, did the accused aim to manipulate medical reports, delay police involvement, or shield themselves from scrutiny altogether? Navjot's family alleges of abuse of power and privilege, where institutions are twisted for self-protection over victim welfare. And which is why we've got an informed panel with us. The big questions that we're asking on the show: was Navjot Singh a victim of reckless driving or a victim of a deliberate cover-up? And most importantly, in India, does privilege still drive faster than justice? With me here on the broadcast, Suresh Costa, father of Ashwini Costa, the Pune Porsche car hit-and-run case victim. Many thanks for speaking to us. I understand it's a brave thing that you're doing at this point in time. Sonali Shah, civic activist and advocate, Supreme Court. Very warm welcome to you, ma'am. And L.N. Rao, former DCP, Delhi Police. Always a pleasure to have you with us, Rao sir. Sonali, let me begin with you right at the outset. Help us understand privilege versus public apathy. Which of these actually killed Navjot? He's a senior official of the finance ministry. Was it the BMW's impact? Was it the delay at the hospital? Or was it purely the indifference of a system that unfortunately we all deal with, that goes without saying tilts towards the powerful?
Each of these factors, I would say, has played their own role. There was a delay. He was deliberately taken to a hospital where they had connects. The public, the bystanders, they showed no apathy towards them. Rather, they were busy filming the accident. And rather, the trauma response situation in our country is also really poor. Ideally, they should have also called 112 for seeking ambulance. If ambulance would have been there, probably they would have got some first aid, some resuscitation, something that could have helped to save them. So this incident is not about negligence. I would call it murder. It is outrightly murder. I would not call it a mere thing of negligence and accident. And yes, I'm aware that police has also taken the blood samples. So if we are assuming intoxication also in a broad daylight and driving a like a BMW car with such high speed, that too on busy roads of Dwarka, this cannot be called negligence. This is well-aware, informed decision wherein you are endangering the life of public who are on the roads.
No, you're absolutely right. And what do you make of the case details so far, Sonali? I mean, there are several theories that are doing the rounds and the family connect also has to be proven, at least in court,
Yes.
before we actually
Yes.
talk about it. It's all alleged at this point in time, but it does go on to show us, because in that 10-kilometer radius, you had RML Hospital, you had Safdarjung, you had so many of these other hospitals. AIMS Trauma Center was right next to them. They still chose to travel all the way to GTB Nagar.
Yes. So see, when we talk about from the investigation point of view, the police will have to really actively work in terms for investigating the dispute. They really need to understand that the person who was driving the car, what was the speed? What was the speed limit for that area? What was the difference between the two? Because that attributes to negligence. Further, when we add on, when the victims, they were hit, they were well alive and responding. However, she deliberately chose to go to a hospital called New Life Hospital. Now, for making that decision, did she make any calls? Did she take someone's opinion who guided her to do that? Or it was an impromptu decision to take her in spite of so many government top-notch hospitals being so close? Rather, I would say the Army Hospital, Army RNR, was within a range of 1.5 to 2 kilometers. And who can be better equipped for a trauma response than Army?
No, you're absolutely
But
right,
still-
Sonali. You've made some credible points here. Ellen Rao, former DCP, Delhi Police, also with us on the broadcast. Mr. Rao, help the viewers understand here what you firstly make of the case details, and secondly, Gaganpreet, the accused, in this case said, the reason why I took the couple to a hospital that's 20 kilometers away is because I was in a state of shock, and that I did not know of any other hospital but this hospital, which is why I asked the driver, Gulfam, a brave guy, Gulfam. Everybody else was busy making videos. It was this gentleman who actually offered to put the bodies and, the couple in their own, delivery van and take the delivery van to a said hospital. But Mr. Rao, what do you make of the case details? According to your point of view, privilege or public apathy, what really killed Navjot?
Good evening to you and all your viewers. There's really a very sad state of affairs and very sad incident of roadside accident in Delhi. And as Sonali rightly said, it's not a simple accident case. I say that legally, if we say that it's a culpable homicide not amounting to murder, it will come under 304 IPC, earlier IPC. Now it is in BNS. Now, because of these reasons, because number one, that injured were not taken to the nearest hospital, which was very near so many other good hospitals. Rather, some army hospital was just half a kilometer away from there. And instead of that, the persons have chosen to take him to in the hospital, very small hospital, New Life Hospital. It's situated in somewhere in East Delhi, 20 kilometers approximately, more than that maybe. And in that, to that hospital. Number three, that ambulance should have been called at that time. Because ambulance has some equipments which can give some first aid to the injured person. And this, mind you, that these hours are very crucial hours to save somebody's life.
Absolutely.
And if somebody is not given appropriate medical help at that time, then the persons are likely to die in this country like this. But definitely, I must tell you, if there was nearest hospital, near medical aid could have been, then this person could have been survived. And this is definitely a case where more and more negligence, you can say that. And that person was taken to a very long distance, and that maybe that reason of that his big blood loss must be there. And one more. The speed of car is apparently on the pictures which are being shown on your TV channel.
Yep.
So it must be assumed that the car was at a very high speed, thanks to the BMW, that company, that the occupants of this car were survived, and because of this safety equipments in that car.
Yep.
But what about that the motorcycle riders who had
That's exactly the question. That's exactly the question, Mr. Rao, because we do need to understand the evidence tampering bit that the police has been talking about since morning. The family has been crying foul. They say something, murkier is at play. But from the safety and comfort of your BMW or your luxury car, that doesn't mean you're going to go ahead and mow down anybody that comes your way. These are safe cars. These are pretty much tanks on the roads. And to drive such a tank at such a high speed is only going to be problematic for everybody else. And that is why cars like a Porsche, cars like a BMW, like a Mercedes, they're now symbols of getting away with impunity. These are symbols of power and privilege. So help the viewers understand, Mr. Rao, again my question to you. When a common man is involved, it seems like accident, FIR, case is filed swiftly. But why does the process look suddenly different when a Porsche is involved, when a businessman is involved, let's say, when somebody who's doing really well for themselves are involved, which is why they have, such a swanky looking car. Why is the process different when a BMW is on the other side of the crash?
Frankly speaking, with the police, I must say that the process begins with the same system, that whether it's a poor or rich. But at the time after the investigation, that in this case it seems to be like that. In the beginning, it would have been if you admit a poor person, that is also the same process would have been registration of FIR, collection of evidences, crucial evidences, arrest of the person, seizing of vehicle. Everything should have been safe. But after that, if you say that some money power comes into picture, and in this case it seems to be that maybe that person who may be having some links with some doctors or having some money power, maybe a big businessman having this BMW car, that may use all these things. That I agree with you that at the after some time of the investigation, these factors definitely attract in that scenario. So I think that
pertinent points that you've raised over here, Mr. Rao, pertinent points that you've raised over here, and Sonali's been making some, pertinent points as well. To both of you, listening to this next gentleman, Mr. Suresh Costa, father of Ashwini Costa, the Pune Porsche car hit and run case victim. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया सुरेश जी हमसे बात करने के लिए। आपने पुणे में अपने एक लाल को खोया ऐसे ही एक लग्जरी कार क्रैश में। बहुत बहादुरी का काम कर रहे हैं आज भी आप मीडिया से बात करके। आपके केस में भी जस्टिस को प्रिविलेज के सामने झुकता हुआ देखा गया। क्या आपको आज जब आपने BMW का केस पढ़ा दिल्ली में इस एक्सीडेंट के और हादसे के बारे में, आपके जहन में क्या कुछ गुजरा, आपको क्या कुछ लगा, और अगर आप थोड़ी सी रोशनी डालना चाहें कि जस्टिस पाने के चक्कर में आपने किस तरीके से केस में आपको किस तरीके की प्रॉब्लम फेस करनी पड़ी, आपको क्या पुलिस वालों से पूरी तरीके से सहायता मिली, जस्टिस सिस्टम पर आपकी क्या टिप्पणी है, और आज के केस और आपके साथ जो बीती उसमें आपको कुछ सिमिलैरिटीज दिखती हैं सुरेश जी?
जी, बड़े दुख की बात है कि हमारे देश में एक्सीडेंट पर एक्सीडेंट होते चले जा रहे हैं, मगर शासन प्रशासन जो भी ये सब देख रेख करते हैं कि एक्सीडेंट को रोका कैसे जाए। मेरे को नहीं लगता कि देश में एक्सीडेंट नाम की चीज को कोई गंभीरता से ले रहा है। गंभीरता से लेते ही नहीं है। एक्सीडेंट को ऐसे जैसे एक रोजमर्रे का काम है, इस तरीके से ट्रीट किया जा रहा है।
जी,
मेरे पुणे पोर्शे केस में भी मैंने बोला था कि मेरे केस में फास्ट ट्रैक के माध्यम से सुनवाई की जाए और जल्द से जल्द इस पर कार्रवाई हो, जिससे 1% लोग भी यदि सबक ले ले तो मेरे ख्याल में 2-4-10 हजार जाने तो बचाई जा सकती। बड़ी दुख की बात है कि आज की डेट में पेपर में डेली पढ़ता हूं कि कहीं किसी ने कार से हिट कर दिया, कहीं ट्रक ने हिट कर दिया, कहीं लॉरी ने हिट कर दिया। मतलब किसी को चिंता ही नहीं है कि मेरे
आप कह रहे हैं कि रोड एक्सीडेंट को कोई भी सीरियसली नहीं ले रहा, और शायद यही सही बात है क्योंकि वी आर लुकिंग एट ऑल ऑफ दीज एक्सीडेंट्स एवरी अदर डे एंड यू नेम इट, यू नेम द मेट्रोपॉलिटन एंड एनसीआरबी डेटा विल शो यू हाउ मेनी रोड एक्सीडेंट्स एक्चुअली टेक प्लेस। लेकिन सुरेश जी, आपके लिए ज्यादा पेनफुल क्या था, एक्सीडेंट खुद या फिर सिस्टम का बिहेवियर? आपने अभी ट्रीटमेंट की बात की थोड़ी देर पहले, जिस तरीके से सिस्टम ने आपको ट्रीट किया, तो आपके लिए ज्यादा दुखद क्या था?
नहीं, शुरुआत में तो पुलिस विभाग से थोड़ा सा, जब मैं अपनी बेटी को लेने जब पुणे गया था तब तो कोऑपरेशन नहीं मिला। उसके बाद तो बाकायदा पुणे की पुलिस प्रशासन जो भी है, पुलिस विभाग की टीम जो है, उनसे बाकायदा पूरा सहयोग मिला। उनके द्वारा अपने टाइम लिमिट में जो चार्जशीट फाइल करना थी फाइल की गई
जी। पुलिस
के द्वारा तो अपनी कार्रवाई की जा रही है। मैं तो पुणे पुलिस को धन्यवाद भी देना चाहूंगा। बट वहां की न्यायपालिका जो है ना, वहां से एक क्या बोलना चाहिए, 0.1% भी न्याय की उम्मीद मेरे को नजर नहीं आ रही है। क्योंकि लड़के को जो एडल्ट ट्रीट करने की याचिका पुलिस द्वारा लगाई गई थी, वो भी किसी किसी केस का रेफरेंस देकर दिल्ली
खारिज
का
कर
ही
दी
कोई
गई।
केस है, खारिज कर दी गई उस
जी।
केस का रेफरेंस देकर, जबकि
जी।
उस केस में दिल्ली का जो केस का रेफरेंस दिया गया और हमारा जो पुणे का जो केस है एकदम अलग है। वो भी दिल्ली में जो केस का रेफरेंस दिया वो हिट एंड रन का स्पष्ट क्लिप में दिख रहा है।
बिल्कुल, for the viewers, those who do not
मगर-
remember, it was a young minor boy who was driving a Porsche car. He was intoxicated. There are visuals of him paying bills up to, on the upwards of tens of thousands of rupees. He was consuming alcohol, and then he mowed down people in Pune. Back-to-back cases that have come to light. सुरेश जी, अगर आपकी आवाज इस समय सीधे पॉलिसी मेकर्स तक पहुंच सके, तो एक कौन सी सिस्टेमिक चेंज, कौन सी डिमांड आप मांगेंगे?
तो उसका रेफरेंस देकर कोर्ट ने उसको एडल्ट ट्रीट करने से मना कर दिया
जी।
वो जो केस का जो आर्डर जो मैंने प्राप्त किया या कहीं से कलेक्ट किया, उसकी मैंने स्टडी थोड़ी सी की, तो उसमें क्या है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट को जो रेफरेंस दिया था, सुप्रीम कोर्ट को कोई उसमें कंफ्यूजन है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट को जो कंफ्यूजन है, उस कंफ्यूजन को क्लियर करने के लिए उनने केंद्र सरकार को और उनके जो डिपार्टमेंट है जो कानून वगैरह बनाते हैं उनको रेफर कर, मतलब फॉरवर्ड कर दिया उसको। ये 2020 की बात है, 2020 की बात है और आज 2025 चल रहा है। तो ये 5 साल में केंद्र सरकार और उसमें जो कानून बनाने वाले बैठे हुए हैं वो क्या कर रहे हैं? न सुप्रीम कोर्ट को कोई चिंता कि मैंने ये लेटर केंद्र सरकार को भेजा है उसका क्या हुआ, और न केंद्र सरकार को चिंता है कि मतलब।
And that's the public apathy that we're trying to highlight on the show. I did understand. And Mr. Rao, Ellen Rao, and Sonali, that was the idea. We did not want to debate this particularly, but discuss this because people do need to understand what's really at play. Sonali, the police have booked the lady under culpable homicide not amounting to murder. Now, that's a serious charge in itself. You're a Supreme Court lawyer, you'd know. But does the wider system actually ensure justice in these kind of cases, in these privilege-heavy case, if I could call it that for the lack of a better term?
See, justice from the courts is a very long-drawn battle. And whether the justice will be delivered or not, it depends how finely the investigation has been conducted by the police, how vigilant they were at the time of collecting evidence. With the AI in picture, I really think that we should be using AI for reconstruction of accident to be able to understand how did this accident take place. We should also, by looking at the damage caused to the car, try to analyze that at what speed the car was there, the velocity, the impact that could have been caused.
Yep.
So there are multiple things that needs to come into picture. Not just taking the samples, but also anybody and everybody who's investigating the matter, even the doctors who prepare the MLC, they need to be fair because we know that our system is totally crooked. That is a matter of fact. Even the celebrity deaths goes for a toast. I would not like to name the celebrity, but yes, there have been celebrity deaths that were investigated, but the investigation has been shabby. Arushi murder case, one of the biggest examples of shabby investigation. So when we talk about such situations, we really need to look at it holistically. The trauma response, how quick do we get the ambulance in our country? How quick is the police in reaching the spot? Are the civilians, the public, aware of the remedies available? Are they having that awareness that if they see such an accident, what do they need to do?
Yep.
If the accused did not call the ambulance, anybody from the public could have done. They could have dialed a PCR. And also, if there is an accident, please leave space for movement of ambulance and other vehicles. If you block the area, we do not have a dedicated lane in our country wherein an ambulance or a PCR van or any help can reach.
Essentially a recipe for disaster. And all those points that you have made here, and one of them, the most prominent one, was that we lack the forensic capacity to recreate these road accidents. And I think with the advent of artificial intelligence, that's a great point, Sonali. We can actually do that. It's been so many hours. There are so many theories that are doing the rounds. Whether did the SUV first hit the barricade and then hit the two-wheeler? Did it directly hit the two-wheeler? What really happened? And are there no CCTV footages on a very prominent portion of our Delhi cantonment area? near Delhi cantonment metro station at those specific pillar points? My final question to Mr. L. N. Rao, and a great segue, Sonali, that you've given to me. Mr. Rao, firstly, what reforms can the Delhi police, the local administration, let's just not single out the cops here, talk about the cops, but also single out the local administration, our law enforcement in general, and what can they do to adapt to these kind of situations so that privilege doesn't end up becoming a shield? Where were the cops? Where were the ambulances? Why, even after a day, we don't have CCTV footage as to exactly what happened?
Yes, this most important part on the part of police, I must tell you that investigation of this case to be conducted on a very speedy level, and all the physical evidences should be collected, even the scientific evidence as well, the blood on the spot and the impact of the vehicle, speed of the vehicle, tire marks, and so many other things are there to investigate all these things to prove the guilt of that lady who was driving this car at a very high speed. I must tell you, this car, when it's driven at a very high speed, it's just like a weapon, and weapon can kill anyone. So now as I also agree with Sonali ji that AI must be taken into account, so that recreation of scene can be done. And about CCTVs also, I think that if the police will search CCTV, I think that CCTV must be found in some area, maybe half a kilometer or maybe 200-300 kilometers. That's a matter of investigation, whether CCTV is there or not. In that CCTV...
Mr. Rao, I know I've completely run out of time here. I know you're a cop, you're a top cop, you've been dealing with all of these investigations. I don't want you to jump the gun here, but could this case now throw up more murky details? Could they throw more intriguing twists in this case that could come to light?
Yeah, yes, it can be. It can be definitely, and this case should be investigated and supervised by the senior level officers, because there should not be any misuse of power, and then so-called money cannot come into the picture, and that even that speedy investigation after completion of trial investigation, the trial should be started as soon as possible, so that the guilt of the person
Mr. Suresh Costa is a living example in front of us. He asked for a speedy trial. That did not happen, and let's just hope that good sense prevails. We can only hope that good sense prevails. Many thanks to all my panelists. A man is dead, his family is shattered, and a city is left asking, was this just an accident or the aftershock of privilege at play? The cops are carrying out their investigation, but when minutes matter, detours like this one can be fatal. When justice matters, influence can be deadly. Navjot Singh's death forces us to confront a very harsh truth on our roads and in our institutions. It is often not the law, but the last name that decides who survives. And should that be the way going forward? Food for thought. Many thanks for watching. In your interest, top developments right on the other side.
मैं कहना चाह रहा था कि प्रोमिनेंस नहीं है। प्रोमिनेंस मतलब प्रोमिनेंस विंडोज, इसमें है हाईएस्ट वेदर रेजिस्टेंस और घर को रखे सेफ फ्रॉम टर्माइट,